if you don't have a resource place to go to that you can say, you know what, you're not imagining it. It really exists. I think that is immense. And then once you recognize that it exists, you can get help.
The need for organizations like AMI Quebec can't be understated. I think that they save lives all the time. I really don't know how long it would have taken me to come around to the point of recognizing my illness for what it was and recognizing I did in fact need medical treatment. And that's the only reason that I'm well today. And I can certainly speak personally that AMI accelerated my healing and my recovery by potentially years.
A very close friend of mine with whom I grew up, she is a caregiver for a family member with mental illness. I really didn't understand what it meant to walk in her shoes. And coming to AMI Quebec made me feel what she was feeling. And it changed my perspective forever.
To be able to be part of a community now where I understand people, I'm compassionate, and I have skill sets that I can provide and organizational skills to organize events, things like that. I just really feel like I'm giving back to the community that gave to me.
For me, one of the greatest skills I learned at AMI is what they call active listening. How you actually listen to a person who's in distress without sounding judgmental and without making that person feel uncomfortable about opening up.
The person that I had in mind was actually diagnosed much later, and my experience with AMI Quebec really helped me to deal with it. And I think it was really, there's no other way that I would have had that kind of resources, the kind of knowledge that I had if I hadn't been with AMI Quebec.
Feeling not alone, feeling the fact that there's other people that are going through the same things, people that I could relate to and I can speak to, and that I think that in itself has really helped me get through some of the challenges that I face every day with my sister.
What bothers me is when people say, you're so brave. It shouldn't be something that's attached to coming out and telling people, being brave about it. It should be something like, oh, well, you have it, so do I. So did my mother, I understand it. This is just something it's like, you wouldn't say, oh, you're so brave to tell me about your broken arm, or you're so brave to tell me about your migraines that you get every day. I think I'd like to change that if I could.
I think that the stigma was more profound than today. It is still, we still have a way to go, but I think that we are making some strides.
I just find it amazing still that people can be so close-minded that they think that, oh, just suck it up.
I would argue that if someone has cancer, we don't say that they have cellular health issues. We say that they have cancer. They have a disease called cancer or an illness called cancer. Why are we afraid to call bipolar a mental illness? It's not a mental health issue. I don't have an issue with my mental health. I unfortunately have an illness that's called bipolar disorder and I have to treat it.
1 in 5 people will experience mental health illnesses. We can't ignore that, and we need organizations like AMI who provide an important perspective on that problem. There are other perspectives, obviously. There are medical perspectives, psychological perspectives, but we also have the family caregiver perspective.
Would we ever say to somebody that they have an issue with any other illness? We just wouldn't. We wouldn't do that. And the reason I bristle at the word issue is because issue tends to make it sound like it's a problem the person has that they have a choice over.
When I came to AMI, I used the SOS services, which were free, and I felt that, this is an amazing organization that gives to so many people. You're not alone. You really aren't.